Hello, welcome to this presentation of my UEFM level. As you can see, this presentation will be recorded via OBS and using Premiere Pro in the background just to run the two videos that I've done. These videos are pre-recorded where I played through the perspective of player 1 and player 2 as my level is a cooperative experience. This was done using the editor mode just to navigate through the level faster, essentially, and get through this process a lot quicker. So I'm going to start the videos now and try to talk about these different elements. So starting off with these different elements, hold on, there we go. So starting off, immediately once each of the players jump through the rifts, they get a doorway and a coin is essentially presented right in front of them. This is a coin that the player will pick up and is used as a means of extrinsic motivation to give the player experience points, so players will be more likely to explore the environment to pick these coins up. Now, I've also used the colour green and red on the lower part of the walls as an affordance to tell whether player 1 is meant to be in this area and player 2 is meant to be in this area. This can be shown also in the text here that I've done just to make it clear which perspective is which. Now, as you can see, with the first encounters of each player, these are fairly similar, where each player is tasked to find an item in their section and use said item to reach the next elevation. So as you can see, player 1 steps on a trigger which opens up the doorway for player 2 so they can grab the jetpack. As you previously saw before, just a few moments ago, we had player 1 going through a painting, essentially having the same process. So player 1 will have a grappler at this stage, while player 2 would have a jetpack. Now, player 1 and 2 would both use these to reach the next elevation. So, as you can imagine, player 1 would use the grappler to get up here, while player 2 uses the jetpack to reach this elevation. Now, this leads to triggers, which allows both players to continue to the second encounters. So, moving on to these second encounters, we now have some of the issues that I came up with. So, player 1 has essentially the same mechanic as they previously did in the last room, using the painting to reach to the next trigger. This is due to my lack of knowledge with the UEFN editor and not being able to use verse to introduce new mechanics. Originally, this second encounter room would have been a code combination lock where player 1 and 2 would have to communicate together some numbers that they each have and then put them in the right order. However, due to the lack of knowledge, I just had to reuse said mechanic. While player 2 gets a fairly complex jumping puzzle that they essentially have to navigate through and get through. So then, once that is done, as you can see, player 1 now reaches the maze. At this stage, player 1 can explore the maze if they want. However, it would be more ideal for them to wait for player 2 to catch up. Because of the nature of the way that I had to do these clips, it is a little out of sync, so at this stage, player 1 and 2 would be in the final encounter. So player 2 at this stage is doing the jumping puzzle. This jumping puzzle would have been likely a few seconds earlier at this stage. So once player 2 reaches the top after parkouring up, they would reach the next rift. And now with this rift, player 2 can now guide player 1's perspective of where the end of the maze is, as essentially in the maze player 1 needs to find a trigger which opens up the doorway for player 2 right here, and player 2 uses this trigger to open the final door. Now, after the trigger is activated for player 2, from player 1's perspective, player 2 will need to guide the player 1 to the final doorway to end the level. So as you can see, player 2 has now reached the end of the level and is waiting for player 1. Once both players meet, the level would end. So anyway, thank you for watching this video presentation of my Fortnite custom level. Of course, there could have been many elements that could have been improved upon. For example, Encounter 2, maybe looking at possible changes to the maze puzzle, the jumping puzzle, making it maybe a little easier. As for the maze puzzle, as previously said, the ground is a little difficult to see in this video. This initially wasn't as intense of colour, and it was more transparent. However, when recording the video, it was a little harder to see. So anyway, like I said, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.